Well, hi there. Thanks so much for dropping by. I'm Peter Alsop, and our song to chew today is called The Buckdancer's Daddy. It's from my Uniforms album. Buckdancing is another word for clogging. I thought maybe we'd take a little break from all the politics going on these days. Don't get me wrong, I believe people in office need to be accountable for things they do that affect the rest of us, and praise them when they do great or vote them out when they're not doing their jobs. So this mostly true story is about a protective dad who doesn't want his attractive daughter out dancing and messing around with boys. After I listened to this song again, I realized that our little lives and what we do in our families is both very personal and political. Because politics isn't something out there somewhere, away from us. It's part of the everyday fabric of each of our lives. We do politics when we decide what food to buy, or when we have a little argument with a family member, because the ways we interact with the world around us, the skills we use to negotiate getting what we need or think we need, the ways we distribute and use our personal resources of time and money and caring are all there in the big political arenas, just like they are in our own smaller personal arenas. So, with that in mind, from my Uniforms album, let's listen to Buckdancer's Daddy.
There's a buck dance every Friday night down at the old town hall, where sometimes you can see the best buck dancer of them all. She waves her hand, she swings her hips, her long hair's flying free. She sparks and smiles and kicks with style, that's a pure delight to see. Well, maybe she'll be there this week, she'll fill your heart with joy. But her daddy don't like her to go out dancing with the boys. That's her daddy in the back trying not to tap his toes. He sneaks in to watch her dance cause you don't want her to know. He's the buck dancer's daddy and he can't sit down. He smiles when she swings around. He's the buck dancer's daddy, and he tries so hard to frown, but he's the buck dancer's daddy, and he can't sit down. As a boy, he danced on flying feet, each contest he would win. Fell in love with a girl so sweet and married to the beat of a mandolin. When the baby came, his lady died, and he hung up his shoes. No one knows how long he cried, but his dancing days were through. His daughter grew up straight and strong, she got straight A's in school. When she hears a clogging song, she dances like a fool. She follows in her daddy's footsteps, has his natural moves. He don't approve, he says he only comes to hear the music. Buckdancer's daddy, and he can't sit down. He smiles when she swings around. He's the buckdancer's daddy, and he tries so hard to frown, but he's the buckdancer's daddy, and he can't sit down. Now every Sunday he stops by and tries to hide his smile. Shows us pictures of the guys she danced with down the aisle. His wallet is chock full of little dancers in his clan. And Grandpa claims that everyone can buck dance like he can. He's the buck dancer's daddy, and he can't sit down. He smiles when she swings around. He's the buck dancer's daddy, and he tries so hard to frown, but he's the buck dancer's daddy, and he can't sit down. Yes, he's the buck dancer's daddy, and he can't sit down. He smiles when she swings around. Yes, he's the buck dancer's daddy, and he tries so hard to frown, but he's the buck dancer's daddy, and he can't sit. No, he can't sit down.
I got some great players and singers to work with me on this one. That was Byron Berline on fiddle and John Hickman on banjo. Rick Kuna played lead guitar and sang harmonies with John Walmsley from the Waltons and his wife, actress Lisa Harrison. John Campson played a little mandolin. Well, I guess most all mandolins are little, huh? The idea for this song came from listening to my friend Beverly Cotten, as she told me a story about her dad and his concern about, well, you know, how boys are. Beverly had her own solo career as a performer and was dancing with the Green Grass Cloggers out of North Carolina way back when, before she met and married Rodney Dillard of the Dillard family. I loved Beverly's story about her dad being a very talented buck dancer himself, but he was in such pain when his wife died that it was too painful for him to feel like he could dance anymore. And he didn't want his daughter to get swept away by some other young man at one of those dances, so he didn't approve of her dancing. But in spite of her dad's admonitions, she kept dancing and singing. She's an expert clawhammer banjo player, and she told me that although her dad never said anything to her about how good she was, one of her dad's friends told her privately, "Do you know how proud your daddy is of you? He tells us all the time about what a good dancer you are." And as an educator, I'm fascinated by watching the multitude of ways we relate to other people and how we treat each other. How much should a dad maintain control over his children because he's afraid for them? Do we police them and stop them from doing things that we feel are dangerous? Or do we teach them how to be smart and aware of dangerous situations and people and give them skills to be able to take care of themselves when we aren't around to tell them what to do? These kinds of choices we have to make as parents are just as political as the way governmental officials have to decide in each different situation if it's better to command and control what they may consider to be out-of-control behaviors from their citizenry, or to listen to and support their constituencies' requests and needs. What most often determines what we choose is what we learned in our families of origin. We grow up watching the grown-ups around us. We see what they do, what's important to them. We learn what makes them happy or angry and watch how they succeed or get in trouble and what they do to resolve their problems. It's all politics and style. Are we open and interested in looking at our faults and weaknesses so we can learn how to do things better, more effectively? Or do we hold and hide secrets so that no one can see them? And then we won't have to change and grow. We learn all these skills from watching how our families deal with holding grudges or being able to forgive others. So is there a political message for us in this personal family story? When we hear how and why her dad felt he couldn't support her directly, and feel what he must have struggled with inside himself, and see how eventually he was able to come around, the story helps us recognize and understand how each of us diverse humans do our own little dances here on this bumbly, beautiful old world of ours. That's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. Please let your friends or family members know about this Songs to Chew podcast. It's free. But if you find you have a burning desire to support my songwriting, you could go to peteralsop.hearnow.com and pick up my new Camping with Dads album. I'll be back next week with another song from that one. I'm Peter Alsop. Be safe. Bye for now.